Well, look at this. The UK has decided to ban disposable vapes. Yes, those colorful little sticks of flavored air. The ban kicks in on July 1st, 2025. Shops will no longer be able to sell them. The government says this is for the best. The aims are noble. First, they want to stop young people from vaping, kids with their TikToks and mango ice nicotine. Second, they want to reduce environmental waste. Throwing away millions of plastic tubes with batteries isn't great for Mother Earth. Good intentions can lead to complicated problems. Businesses thinking of flouting this ban think again. The penalties are stiff. A minimum fine of £200 per offense. Repeat offenders could face up to 2 years in prison. Yes, prison, for selling a disposable vape. Trading standards officers will seize any single-use vapes they find. The ban is coming. The goals are clear. The punishments are motivating. Problem solved then? Or have we just kicked a hornet's nest with a different kind of stick? Let's dive into this, shall we? Because it's going to be a bumpy and possibly smoky ride. Here's a terrifying thought. What if trying to stop people from using one nicotine product pushes them towards an older, far deadlier one? Yes, I'm talking about good old-fashioned cigarettes. The ones that come with a Surgeon General's warning the size of a small novel. A study commissioned by Vape Shop found something interesting. They surveyed 750 UK adults. 42% of current vapers said they would consider returning to smoking if all vapes were banned. Now, this new UK ban is only for disposables. But still, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Another study by the Future Health Research Center paints an even grimmer picture. Their algorithms predict this ban could lead to between 90,000 and 200,000 more people picking up smoking. That's a significant number of individuals potentially switching from something less harmful to something catastrophically harmful. This potential surge in smoking rates could seriously derail the UK government's ambition for a smoke-free Britain by 2030. A policy designed to improve public health, inadvertently undermining years of progress in reducing smoking. It would be a spectacular own goal, a public health faceplant. People who might have successfully quit smoking by using disposable vapes now face a choice. Switch to more complex, refillable vapes, quit nicotine altogether, or go back to the familiarity of cigarettes. This ban, while well-intentioned for youth and the environment, might just be paving that path with discarded, disposable vapes. The irony is almost too much to bear. It's not just cynical television hosts raising eyebrows at this, you know. Actual experts, people who study this stuff for a living, are also sounding alarms. They're worried. And when experts are worried, perhaps we should listen. Chris Price, who is the e-commerce manager for Vape Shop, has been quite vocal. He warned that this ban on disposables risks pushing thousands of people back to smoking. These are individuals who used vaping as a lifeline to quit cigarettes. Now that lifeline is being, if not cut, then certainly made more complicated. Then there's Richard Sloggett. He's the author of that Future Health Research Center report we just talked about. He's also a former government advisor, so he knows a thing or two about how policy works. Sloggett stated that urgent work is needed. We need to ensure that these efforts to reduce youth vaping don't unintentionally boost smoking rates, especially among younger adults. He's calling for a more considered approach. Sloggett has some concrete suggestions. He's called for a national mass media anti-smoking campaign. Remind everyone why smoking is, to put it mildly, a terrible idea. He also wants clearer use of regulatory powers through the new Tobacco and Vapes Bill. Because ambiguity in regulation is like an open invitation for chaos. And nobody wants chaos, especially when it involves public health and highly addictive substances. Clear rules, clearly communicated. It sounds simple. It rarely is. Let's be unequivocally clear about one thing. Smoking traditional cigarettes is devastatingly bad for your health. This is not a controversial statement. This is a fact, backed by mountains of evidence, decades of research. It's linked to at least 16 different types of cancer. That's a lot of cancers. From your lungs to your larynx, your esophagus to your bladder, it's a systemic poison. It doesn't pick favorites, it just wreaks havoc wherever it can. And it's not just cancer. Smoking is an overachiever in the harm department. It's a major cause of various heart diseases. Think heart attacks, strokes. It contributes to lung diseases like COPD and emphysema, making every breath a struggle. It can affect fertility in both men and women, and the list goes on. Globally, the World Health Organization states that tobacco kills over 8 million people every single year. 8 million. That's a staggering, horrifying number. It's a global health crisis that's been raging for generations. There's no real debate about the profound dangers of smoking. Just because vaping is then smoking, does that mean it gets a completely clean bill of health? Is it a totally innocent bystander in this public health drama? Well, not exactly. Some research is starting to raise concerns about the long-term effects of vaping itself. It's a newer technology, so the long-term data is still emerging. And some of what's emerging is, frankly, a bit worrying. A study by Manchester Metropolitan University, for instance, tracked volunteers with an average age of 27. Their findings suggested that vapes could pose health threats that are disturbingly similar to those from smoking. Researchers found that both vapers and smokers in their study had damaged artery walls. These arteries could no longer dilate properly. This is a known precursor to serious cardiovascular problems down the line. The same study also pointed out that impaired blood flow, observed in both groups, puts individuals at risk of cognitive dysfunction. This includes conditions like dementia. Furthermore, the high nicotine content in many vapes, especially disposables, is a concern. Nicotine itself increases heart rate and blood pressure. So while the official line remains that vaping is significantly safer than smoking, it's clear that safer does not equate to safe. Alright, let's shift gears from lungs to landfills for a moment, because one thing is undeniably true about disposable vapes: they are an environmental menace, a colorful, fruit-flavored plague upon the planet. The sheer volume of waste they generate is astounding. It's estimated that a staggering 5 million single-use vapes are thrown away every single week in the UK. 5 million per week. Just try to picture that. It's a mountain range of plastic, metal, and battery waste, growing larger by the minute. This isn't just an eyesore problem, though it certainly is that. These devices contain lithium batteries, and lithium batteries, when not handled correctly, can be a bit fiery. The local government association, LGA, has issued warnings about the fire risk associated with stockpiling disposable vapes. Imagine your local waste recycling center, or even your own bin, suddenly erupting in flames, all thanks to a discarded blueberry ice vape. Beyond the fire risk, there's the pollution. Improperly discarded vapes can leak toxic chemicals. So from an environmental perspective, this ban on disposable vapes, it's hard to argue against it. A primary driver behind this UK ban on disposable vapes is, undeniably, the kids, the youth, the next generation. There's a widespread concern, and it's not unfounded, that these devices have become alarmingly popular among underage individuals. And let's be frank, it's not hard to see why. Disposable vapes are often brightly colored. They come in a dazzling array of sweet, candy-like and fruity flavors. Watermelon splash, gummy bear blast, pink lemonade fizz. It's like a sweet shop, but with nicotine. Statistics paint a concerning picture. According to reports, over 20% of children in the UK have tried vaping, 1 in 5. That's a significant portion of an age group that should not be using nicotine products at all. So you ban a product that a significant number of people use. What happens next? Well, history teaches us that when demand persists and legal supply vanishes, an illegal market often rushes in to fill the void. It's basic economics, really, with a dash of criminality. There are now legitimate concerns that this ban on disposable vapes could lead to the rise of a thriving black market, unregulated, untaxed, and potentially much more dangerous for consumers. It's the law of unintended consequences back for another encore. Think about it. People who are accustomed to using disposable vapes, or young people still seeking them out, might turn to illicit sellers. These sellers won't be adhering to any safety standards. They won't be checking IDs. Their products could come from anywhere, made with anything. The current regulated market, for all its faults, at least has some oversight. An illegal market has none. It's the Wild West, but with dodgy vape juice instead of moonshine. Enforcing this ban effectively is going to be a monumental task. So here we are. A ban is coming. Good intentions abound, but so do potential pitfalls. How can policymakers navigate this complex landscape to genuinely move towards a smoke-free future without accidentally making things worse? It's not going to be easy. There are no magic wands here, only difficult choices and the need for careful, evidence-based strategies. The first, and perhaps most crucial step, is to ensure that efforts to curb youth vaping do not inadvertently lead to an increase in adult smoking. That would be, to put it mildly, a disaster. One key recommendation, echoed by experts like Richard Sloggett, is the urgent need for a large-scale national mass media anti-smoking campaign. Remind people, loudly and clearly, just how devastating smoking is. Simultaneously, provide clear information about the relative risks of vaping versus smoking. And crucially, offer robust support for smokers who want to quit, including access to regulated, non-disposable vaping products if those are their chosen cessation tool. Don't just take something away, offer viable, safer alternatives and support. The new Tobacco and Vapes Bill provides the government with significant regulatory powers. These powers need to be used wisely and clearly. This means strict enforcement against selling any vapes to underage individuals. It means ensuring that non-disposable vaping products are properly regulated for safety and quality. It also means clear communication about what is and isn't allowed and why. The air